Good morning and welcome to your weekend healthy chat. I'm your host, Dr. Sara, and today we have an excellent show to start your morning off right. Our guests today are from the BPW, or Business and Professional Women's Club of Port Jervis. We have Charlene Trotter, who's the BPW president, and Michelle Dean, who is the scholarship co-chair, as well as a former BPW president. Good morning, ladies, and welcome.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Well, we are very happy to have you on our show today. So let's get it started. So what is the BPW of Port Jervis?
We're a group of professional business women in Port Jervis, and we do have some members in Pennsylvania and in other areas in Orange County here. And we get together, and the majority of our work is to raise scholarship funds for seniors at both Port Jervis High School as well as Delaware Valley High School. And so we are a 501c3 organization.
And what does that mean?
We are a charity, a nonprofit. So if someone makes a donation for our annual Tricky Tray or any of the initiatives that we do in our community, then they're able to write that off with the IRS, which is really kind of fabulous. So, yeah.
How many members do you guys have currently?
I think we have about 62 or 64.
Yeah, wow,
I like Michelle's
that's great.
answer better, 64. Yeah.
That's an excellent amount. Great. Now, how did each of you become involved with the BPW? What inspired you?
Wow. I've been a member for 31 years, believe it or not.
Wow, that's excellent.
That's Michelle, by the way.
And at that time, I had one small child, Allison, and then actually I was pregnant with Aaron. But I needed to feel that I wanted to do something for the community.
Great.
Also to get out with some other women to kind of just talk with them and, learn some new things. A lot of our members have very interesting jobs, and you get some new connections. And through the years, I've been involved with the dinner committee and the scholarship committee and our fundraising committees.
Great.
And we've gotten new members. We have a lot of great members. And like I say, their connections and what they bring to the club are just very interesting to me.
Very nice. And how did you become involved, Charlene?
Well, actually, a friend that I met through Rotary, Patty Neosi, the Port Jervis Rotary Club, had said to me, we have a professional business women's club, and why don't you come and join? And I came to a couple of meetings and really liked it. I loved the fact that all of these women are incredibly dedicated and devoted to raising money each year for scholarships for young students and, to go on to higher education. So I really, really loved that aspect of it. And
how long have you been a member?
I think since 2005 or 6, something like that.
Great.
I don't know, something like that. It seems like a really long time. But Michelle has really made a lot of contributions to the BPW as past president, vice president. God knows how many other titles she's had. But when she came today to do the show with me, and I'm very glad that she showed up because she knows everything about BPW.
Oh, good. So now, how does one join BPW?
Well, you would come to 2 of our meetings.
And are these meetings you have on a monthly basis? Or are they every...
we usually have dinner meetings. That is the third Wednesday of the month, except in the summer. Anyone interested can contact any of our members or even go on Facebook. We have a Facebook site.
Oh, nice.
You can contact Charlene. Like I say, contact any one of us. Come to one of our dinner meetings, see how it is. Come to another dinner meeting, hand in an application, and be installed shortly afterwards and join the club. You don't have to come every month to the meetings. We do understand some people have commitments that they do have to keep. But all in all, it's a great group of women.
Yeah. And it's, what is it, $30 a year for dues? So
Yes.
it's very
that's
reasonable.
not bad at all.
Yeah, and we just really want to encourage business women, professional women, and we have a few that are retired that used to, but they make incredible contributions to the club. As a matter of fact, 2 of our founding members are still alive, and they've been members for 62 years. So, yeah.
Wow, that's phenomenal.
That is amazing.
Are there qualifications to be a member?
Well, yeah, I don't have it in front of me. In other
We
words,
have to be involved in business
part-time,
or
full-time.
professional, involved in some kind of work. We do have, like I say, some women who have retired that have now the time to actually join.
Right.
So,
but it's a big group of volunteers. So, yes, we would encourage any and all women to certainly be part of the club.
Oh, that's great. Now, what are some of the activities that BPW is involved with throughout the community, whether it's Orange County or Pike County?
Well, our largest is the annual Tricky Tray, which is coming up. I know we're going to talk about that a little bit more. It is our major fundraiser of the year, from which we award scholarships. I believe this year and last year, in the last few years, they've been $1,500 each. And depending on how much net proceeds we raise at this annual fundraiser, will determine how many scholarships we can give out to both Port Jervis seniors as well as DV seniors. And also, we do some work each December and for Salvation Army.
Right. We help. We man the kettle one day for them. We also, at our December meeting, it's geared around the Salvation Army. All our members bring wrapped gifts.
Nice.
For them.
For the toy drive?
Yes, for our toy drive. That then the Salvation Army then can hand out to their children who are, in need of gifts. We also do National Night Out. We participate.
What's that? What's National Night Out?
It's
National Night Out Against Crime is a nationwide thing. I think it's the second or the third
Tuesday
in August, right? And Port Jervis has one. So we always have a table there at National Night Out, since Port Jervis has been doing that for the past several years. And give away things to the kids, raffle off bikes and helmets and stuff like that.
Right. I think we also gave out 10 backpacks filled with supplies.
Wow, that's fantastic.
And we also have a community projects team that, with the BPW, that will, if there are certain needs in the community, in the Port Jervis area community, we will raise money at various other events, whether we're, selling baked goods or what have you, and we'll make the donations to a particular family or to an institution where there might be some need there. So it's just
such a great asset in the community. Yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah, and we also sometimes send kids to camp, right?
That's also through the Salvation Army.
Yeah.
We give them, I believe, a check in December for that purpose.
Yeah. Send, I think it's one
Local.
or two kids to camp for the Salvation Army. Yeah.
Very nice. Well, I know we want to talk about the Tricky Tray, so we'll be saving that for segment 2, and we'll be right back after this. Welcome back. We're here with Charlene Trotter, the BPW president, as well as Michelle Dean, a scholarship co-chair of the BPW. And we were just discussing some of the different activities the Business and Professional Women's Club of Port Jervis is involved with. And I know a big one that's up and coming is the Tricky Tray. Now, so for our listeners, what is the Stars of Tomorrow Tricky Tray?
Well, this will be our 13th annual Tricky Tray. And what it is, I guess you could say it's a fancy penny social, if people remember what a penny social is. But we'll have some fabulous baskets and trays of items, usually over 250, that are wrapped in cellophane with bows. We have a ton of gift certificates from a lot of our local businesses and merchants.
Very nice.
We have special tables that have gifts over maybe $50 or $100, and super special tables that have also gifts probably over $150 or more, which I'll tell you some of those gifts. But what happens is you would come to our door. We sell our tickets for $1 a piece, which you have 25 little tickets you would put in the buckets, plus a door prize ticket.
So 25 chances to win with $1.
That's right. And no admission charge. So we are one of the few organizations that don't charge you to walk in our door.
Very nice.
So, and also what we started a few years ago, if you buy $30 worth of tickets at the door, you get a special other chance, little ticket that would put you in a pool to win a cash prize of $200.
Wow. Yeah, I have to say, I'm from Georgia, and I didn't know what a Tricky Tray was.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, what is that?
No, I know. When you started talking about it, I was like, penny social I kind of knew because I remember that growing up. But the Tricky Tray, I was like, I'm not really sure what that is.
But I have to tell you, I mean, the first BPW Tricky Tray that I went to, it was absolutely incredible. I couldn't believe how many wonderful, all these little baskets are themed baskets, and our members, donate these baskets. And it is bar none. I've gone to a few Tricky Trays since, and there is no Tricky Tray like the BPW, Port Jervis BPW Tricky Tray. I mean, they come from just everywhere, don't they,
Everywhere.
Michelle? Everywhere.
I mean, we are known to have one of the best because we have quality items.
No, the best.
The best.
Yeah.
And
the best.
Well, the other thing which I hear from a lot of people is they know the money we earn goes back to the community in terms of our scholarships. Last year alone was $15,000, so that's $1,500 scholarships.
That is phenomenal.
And just
Amazing.
a little history, I mean, being this is our 13th Tricky Tray, we have raised over the 12 years $160,000 that has been distributed to 131 students.
So that's incredible.
That is.
And as a matter of fact, we're sitting here today with a former recipient, Dr. Sara, of one of our scholarships, right, Michelle?
That's right. That
15 years ago.
15 years ago.
And it is definitely incredible to be able to not only just be a recipient, but to give back to my community and just, what the scholarship helps with to help pave the way for whether it's undergrad, medical school, whatever you use the money for. I mean, it's amazing. So many of us in the community are very lucky to have women like you out there.
Oh, thank you. And you know what? Dean was saying that Dr. Sara was one of only five scholarships awarded that year.
Well, back then, I believe it was from our murder mystery dinners that we used to hold. And back we thought $5,000 at that time was, wow, we are doing great. And we gave to 5 recipients, in those years. And when we started this Tricky Tray, the numbers went from 7,000 to 10,000 to 12,000 to now, we're up to 15,000.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So we need people to come and to buy tickets and to and also one of the great thing is the last few years, I think our 50-50 that we take that day
was over $1,000
to the winner.
Wow. To the winner.
So you want to be part of that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely want to be part of that.
Some of our other great prizes, we have 5 Coach bags for all you women we have great Coach bags, a Kindle. We have a 47-inch LG TV flat screen.
Now these are on the super special table, right?
Those are probably on the special or super special.
Yeah. And those tickets are how much each?
I believe they are, I'm trying to think, $10, you get 15 tickets at the special table.
That's a good deal.
Or they were $2 a piece.
Yeah.
And I think the other ones are also 10 and maybe you got 7. I don't remember.
Whatever it is, it's a fabulous deal.
Those are a little extra for those prizes.
Yeah.
Also we have museum tickets at Bethel Woods. The Port Jervis Youth Football League has donated some gift certificates for cheerleading or football registration. And we have a large group of kids in Port that perhaps spending to register for one of those is a lot of money. So you could come win that.
And the gym's always packed. It's absolutely packed. We have great hot dogs that we serve. What are they sold for? $2? $2 for hot dogs that day. So every little thing that we do that day helps us just to put money toward, obviously, net of the expenses of running the event. And we're incredibly grateful for Port Jervis High School and their generosity with allowing us to be in the gymnasium there, and the honor students at Port Jervis High School for helping us every single year. It's a major shout out to the support that we get from Port Jervis High School, and we really appreciate everything that they do. And like Michelle said, the merchants in in Pennsylvania and here in New York that donate gift certificates so that we can help raise money. It's really incredible the way communities come together.
Now, when is the event this year?
Oh, that's a good question.
It's March 8th, which
Saturday.
is Saturday.
So coming up.
Saturday, yeah. Saturday, March 8th. The doors open at 12 noon. And for those of you who, Tricky Tray lingo, calling starts at 2. That means they'll start.
So when they start pulling the tickets,
that's right.
You're the winner.
Pulling the tickets for this particular prize, they shake it up and they pull a number out and then they call the person out, who would be sitting in the audience waiting to win. So it goes pretty fast and furious from 2 o'clock. And we always have an incredible showing. Rain, snow, sleet, or shine, this event will go on.
Very
and
nice.
So we're hoping for some good weather. And, I know everybody will have a great time and find some wonderful gifts. And you're supporting students going to college. So
yeah, so really everybody better come out there to support
everybody.
Absolutely. Now, I know we touched a little bit about the scholarship process. Now, how does someone become a candidate for that, and what is the scholarship that we give out?
Yeah, Michelle, you've been the co-chair of that committee for many years. So, Michelle, I think can probably speak to the process.
They would have to go to their guidance in either Port Jervis or DV. There's an application that we have. We look for their activities, where they rank in class, their community service. If they're working, we see their transcript. Right. Last year, there were 77 applications from the 2 schools. We get a large amount of applications. But then again, we're giving out a lot of money. We have a process where we have a committee of 11 ladies that will see the application with no names, nothing that would indicate who the child is.
Right. Yeah, it's a very fair process. So, I mean, I think it's, having it be blind, having it be,
absolutely,
is really wonderful. So, that committee works
to see who really deserves.
Exactly.
Which is nice.
That committee works very hard and takes a lot of things into consideration with respect to that. And I believe the deadline has already passed, has it not?
End of March, usually.
Oh, okay. So there's still time
great.
For the kids to get in.
So for those of you out there listening, there's still time to get the application in.
Yeah.
Now, I know it's the business and professional women's, but I know with the scholarship, can men or boys win it as well?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Men or women?
Men or women, as long as they are qualified, and we have some awesome
get
students.
Their application in on time.
Get their application filled out. Some of our kids are just amazing what they write, and then, that we hear from them. They come we have a dinner for them in June.
Oh, very
We
nice.
invite them and a guest. We have a nice guest speaker, and we have all the kids get up and tell us a little bit about themselves, where they're going to school. So
I remember that dinner quite a few
Yeah.
years ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think I said I was going to be a
doctor.
pediatrician.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, my mom will say I said that starting at the age of 5. But yes, in high school, I remember very clearly doing
You did. I was there. I remember what you said.
No, well, that is definitely an excellent thing to have in the community. And we thank both of you for your work here, not only with the BPW, but also with the efforts in both Port Jervis as well as DV, Pike County, that area as well.
Yeah, I mean, the women of the club are incredible. There's been no other organization I've been part of in terms of volunteers that everybody pulls their weight. Everybody's passionate about this, and everybody gets it done. Don't they, Michelle?
They do.
It's amazing.
No,
It's absolutely amazing.
that's fantastic. So, well, we thank you so much for being on our show today.
Thank you, Dr. Sara.
And thank you for 15 years ago. It really went a long way, so I appreciate it.
Well, we're glad to hear that, that you made out and that you're a doctor and you are doing your dream, and we were glad we were part of it.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. And
Thank
we'll be
you.
right back after this. Welcome back. Now's the time in our show for our email question of the week. And this mom writes, I'm worried. My 11-month-old son only has 2 teeth. My daughter at this age had 6. Is this normal? It is absolutely normal. Each infant is different. The average child before they hit the first birthday can have anywhere from 2 to 8 teeth. Some infants even start the teething process early, well before 4 to 6 months, which is the average. And some are later with not having a first tooth pop through until they're closer to 1. My little guy didn't get his first tooth until 10 months, although it felt like he was teething since birth. And speaking of teething, Tylenol and Baby Oragel are the best bang for your buck to make them as comfortable as possible. I hope this helps, and remember, each child is unique and runs on their own schedule, which is rarely the schedule we'd like them to have. For those of you with further email questions, please feel free to email me at drsara@middletownchc.org. Again, that's DRSARA@middletownchc.org. I just want to thank our 2 speakers who are here today from the BPW to discuss all the wonderful activities that they have going on, especially the Tricky Tray, which is March 8th, just to remind everybody. So thank you both for being here. And I hope you have an active and healthy week ahead, and I'll see you again next time. Take care. Good morning and welcome to your weekend healthy chat. I'm your host, Dr. Sara, and today we have 2 guests with us. We have Matt Osterberg, who's the Pike County Commissioner, and we also have Mike Sullivan, the Executive Director for Pike County Economic Development Authority. Good morning and welcome, gentlemen.
Top of the morning to you.
Good morning.
Good morning. So let's get started. So tell me a little bit about yourselves and what got you involved with your professions.
Well, I'm the Pike County Commissioner. And been elected now for going on my 3rd year. Prior to that, I was the Milford Borough Council President. Always been involved in the county and the local political theater, if you want to call it that. But have lots of interest in expanding the economic development in Pike County in all directions. And since taking office, I've become the chairman of the economic development, along with Mike here, who's the executive director. I guess I'm the chairman of the board. And, it's important to us that we expand the economic development in Pike County. We're dealing with some major unemployment, and that attributes to a lot of other social problems that we can run into in the county. So that's what I'm about right now. So
Sure.
I'll let Mike.
And Mike?
I'm a retired marketing director from the Times-Herald-Record.
Mm-hmm.
I've worked in Sullivan County and Orange County as an economic development chief, and this is one of the extensions of it. And I'm very, very pleased to be in Pike County. Received a very warm and gracious welcome over there. So.
And how long have you been in Pike County?
Well, I guess about 18 months.
Okay. Very nice. Very nice. So I know that Pike County is still suffering the effects of the economic recession, which you kind of alluded to. So what were some of the most debilitating effects of that recession for Pike County?
Well, Pike County has two industries, and one of them is tourism, and the other one was, and I call it was second home building and home building. Both of them had felt the effects from 2008 of what has occurred with the economy in general throughout the whole country. Our unemployment rate sits at 8.8%, and sometimes that's higher.
Right.
The second home industry, you can imagine, home building and foreclosure rates are the foreclosure rates are high. The new home building is low. Just to give you some statistics, in 2004, there was 1,200 new home permits, and in November of 2013, there was 63.
Oh, wow.
So you can see that there's a large impact on that. And, tourism is still strong, and we support tourism, but we need to expand our economic development and diversify a little bit. So that's what we're trying to attempt to do here. I think we're having good results, along with Mike and myself and the other two commissioners that are very interested in seeing this happen.
One of the interesting things that Pike County was the fastest growing county in Pennsylvania up until the recession began. So was Orange County in New York State, and so was Sussex County in New Jersey. So
the tri-state.
Yes, three of the fastest growing counties. Unfortunately, Pike County lost 0.8% of its population between 2010 and 2012. So if you want to have a bad statistic, something that's not very pleasant to talk about, the fastest growing county actually lost population. The only thing I can say that is positive, and it's not really positive, is our neighbor Wayne County lost twice as much of the population as we did. Terrible.
Yeah, so absolutely. So is it challenging to grow industries here? Like, what are some of the things you guys are working on?
Well, we're working on expanding infrastructure. That's the biggest hurdle that Pike County has, is we have lack of infrastructure. We have lack of central sewage, central water, and those type of needs that businesses would need to be able to move into a community. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to put together a plan that brings business into Pike County that is not in need of those type of elements to survive in the county. And what we're trying to do, when I alluded to, all of this unemployment leads to economic and also social ills. When you look at Pike County and you realize that, there's a number of people working, you can see 8.8% are unemployed, but there's a vast majority that are employed, but 57% of that population leaves the county every single day to go to work someplace else.
Right.
That impacts us on local sales tax, and it also, more importantly, I think, reduces the amount of people that can volunteer, such as things in the volunteer fire companies. People are leaving every day, not being able to be with their families, and by the time they get home, it's late in the day.
Right,
they're tired.
They're not right.
They're
so
tired.
The volunteer things are taking that.
I had
as
the
well.
ability to work in Pike County my entire life.
That's great.
I worked no further than a mile and a half from my home.
That's a nice commute.
and that, that adds to your family. You can go to every one of your child's baseball games or school events or whatever, but we don't even give anybody the opportunity to do that. We don't give our youth the opportunity to do that. We have our youth, graduating from school, going off to college, and chances are they don't come back. In fact, I have two children that, there's just no employment for them to come back to. So there's no opportunity to allow them to do that.
Right. Absolutely.
So we've decided to take some corrective action under the leadership of the commissioners. We've decided to do an economic development program that is quite innovative and quite aggressive. We are looking for companies and types of businesses that do not require infrastructure, things like water and sewer. And we've identified those types of businesses already. We're going to make a multi-exposure solicitation of their businesses. Mm-hmm. There are many attributes to Pike County, certainly cost of operation, cost of government, lower expenditures. We think that a business that is currently now in a high-tax state can increase its bottom line substantially. Just on the tax basis, you could see that going up by about 6 percentage points. So we've identified it. We're going to ask them for their business, and we're going to ask them for their business, and we're going to ask them for their business. And that's something that's very important.
Great. Some of the folks say that one of the issues is a constant conflict between preserving the historical aspects of the area and the need to bring in new business. Now, can this ever be resolved? And if so, how?
Sure. One of the things that we constantly use the term thoughtful economic development. And what we mean by thoughtful economic development is the fact that we are absolutely cognizant of the fact that there's a big tourism industry in Pike County. There's a second home building. It is not our purpose whatsoever to blacktop all of Pike County and things like that. What I said before was we've identified specific types of businesses that do not have affluent going into the streams and things like that. We have taken all of those considerations into our program, and everything that we're doing, make sure that our new businesses will be consistent with our older business.
Right, working hand in hand.
It does. It
Absolutely.
does. And it can work hand in hand, you know. Pike County is a beautiful county.
Absolutely.
You know, nearly 40% of it is owned by the state, the federal government, or, you know, just open spaces. But there's still, you know, 60% left, and then there's a commercial development side of that where we can spread these businesses throughout the county. You know, we're not looking at a single corridor. We're looking all over the county because that's important for us to look for private ownership of properties, and that's what we're doing. This isn't going to be a program where the county is going to buy some business parks and try to do it on our own. We're going to look for private money to do that, but we're going to sell the county to those developers and to those businesses so that they feel welcome to come into a county. And that's what we're trying to tell people. You know, you're welcome to come to Pike County. We want you to come up here, have a cup of coffee with us, and we'll sit and we'll chat with you why it's so important that you come here. We can certainly add to your bottom line, as Michael has said.
Yeah, no, that's great. And with that thought, we'll hold it right there, and we'll be right back after this. Welcome back. We're here with Matt Osterberg and Mike Sullivan, and we're talking a little bit about Pike County. So to bring it back, so I know we've had some successes going on, the Econo Park, LP Cylinder, Car Arms, and of course the Middletown Community Health Center opening up in this area recently. So tell us the impact of these entities coming in.
Well, the impact that we've had is jobs. You know, all of them have created a diversification on our employment. You know, some of them have not opened up fully yet, like Car Arms, but they bought the business park. Econo Pack, we were just there. They are going gangbusters, and they're just going to expand even further. You know, LP Cylinders, that was a company that had been located in Pike County for 35 years, and they looked to expand, and we assisted them in helping them get that, fulfill their dreams and their needs to expand in the county. And now we have Middletown Health Clinic, which, again, just adds to the health needs of the residents of Pike County. But on the other side of it, it also brings, you know, a number of jobs to us.
Right,
and that's what we're looking to do. We're looking to diversify so that we can get people employed in other facets of the economy.
To make that unemployment rate
absolutely
drop down.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
One of the interesting things, tomorrow we're going to visit a company who is going to make a bid on a building in Pike County, and they are from another state. And so that's a very important thing. The second major impact about it is when you don't have demand for labor, wages stay stagnant.
Right.
We want to increase the demand.
So what are some of the advantages of a business coming into the county? I know taxes are one, but what are some of the others?
Well, I think taxes are really a big one.
Yeah.
You know, in New York State, for example, the tax for an individual doing a subchapter S or an LLC corporation is something like 8.82%. In New Jersey, it's 8.92%. In Pike County, it's only 3.07.
Wow, that's quite the
Dramatic.
difference.
Isn't
Absolutely.
that something?
Wow.
Also, it leads over into regulation. The idea of regulation, there's less regulation in Pennsylvania, and that's something that's done by design.
And what does that mean, less regulation?
Well, many things in New York and New Jersey, for example, require special permits and things like that.
Oh, okay.
Things that you would never find necessary, but are held in check by the state governments. That does not happen on that level in Pennsylvania, and it's really important to the small business owner. And one of the other things that we really like a great deal about Pennsylvania is that it's much more informal. You know, you're not going to a competition, for example, when a new business relocates. In New York State, they have a combined application that you must go and compete against everybody else who comes into New York State. In Pennsylvania, it's handled individually and differently. So it's a much nicer environment. There's lower costs associated with things like insurance and workman's compensation and all of those items. So a lot of advantages.
Yeah, a lot of advantages.
No, and the real estate taxes also. You know, I know that's a big impact when you look at the differences between New York, New Jersey, and Pike County in Pennsylvania. And we're working towards different aspects to help people entice them to come to Pike County. You know,
And what are some of those?
Some of those things. One of the things that we instituted 2 years now is the LERTA program,
And
which is
what's
a tax abatement program, which will allow businesses to relocate to Pike County, or even current businesses that want to expand their facilities. They will get a discount every year on their portion of their taxes over a 5-year period. It comes out to be like a 58% savings over 5 years.
Wow.
And we've gotten 5 municipalities to pass that ordinance. The county has passed it. 2 of the school districts have passed it. And that's just to add another little piece of enticement for businesses. Like I say, this isn't just about bringing new businesses. It's also
expanding
local, like LP Cylinders. Give them the idea that we want them to expand, that we want them to be successful in Pike County,
and then help them do that.
Yes,
right.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And it's a small investment. The way I look at that investment is, because we lack some of the infrastructure, that helps offset the amount of money that they would need to spend to create their own infrastructure, and that's a great investment for the municipality and for the county. They will always pay their current taxes, and then they'll only have an abatement on whatever their improvements are. So when you do the math, and you'll see that they can save. So when you look at the tax of LLC taxes and personal income taxes, you add this all together. This is another good reason for businesses to relocate to Pike County.
Absolutely. So what kind of businesses would you like to see come into Pike County?
Well, I think there's a number of them. For example, the car arms operation. They are machine-oriented. They do not use water. They do not use sewer in their processing. They manufacture using computer numeric controls or designed on a computer.
Right.
And then it programs over to the cutting machines to make the particular parts of the firearms, for example. Well, we think those types of businesses that fall into those categories are really great for Pike County. Yeah. We have identified about 15 or 18 of them that we are specifically interested in, and we like to go after businesses that are in very high real estate value areas. And the reason for it is one of the constantly recurring themes that you see is somebody in a place like Bergen County, New Jersey. The value of the land is so high that they could sell that building, reopen their business in Pike County, and run it much more efficiently, and the proceeds of the sale would fund their retirement programs. And this is something you see very often in family-owned business where one generation is leaving and the second one's taking over.
Right.
And the other type of businesses we're going after, as Michael just said, family-owned businesses, the Econopacks of the world, the LP Cylinders of the world, these are small enterprises owned by families. It's not corporate America,
right.
And these are the companies we need to look at, companies that maybe hire anywhere between, 10 people to 100 people, because we're looking at smaller industrial areas. Again, back to we're not going to develop a huge industrial park.
Right.
We're going to take specific pieces of property that are privately owned and see if we can't entice them to come over there and develop on that property. When back to the unemployment, when we sit with 8.8%, what I say is, how many jobs do you want to bring? Well, one job's as good as 100 jobs because most of us are only looking for one anyway.
Right.
So it's really important that we do that. And Econopack is another, company that is, owned by a family. They do a great job. They've employed a number of people in our area already. They bring some employees with them, but that adds to the income tax that's paid to the Pennsylvania and out in Harrisburg. Right. But eventually, through attrition, more people in Pike County will be hired. As people leave the employment, they're going to hire more. I'm sure Middletown Health Clinic is bringing some employees with them. They'll also hire some within the county. Right. And some of them probably still lived in the county that work for them. So now they'll be able to live and work closer to home.
No, that's great. Now, before we wrap it up, so how are we going to get the word out there that Pike County is welcoming new businesses?
We have already begun a program, and just today we finished all the copy on it and everything else. And we're actually beginning a multi-exposure solicitation of businesses that fall into the categories that we've already identified. And we're not going to ask them once. We're not going to ask them twice. We're not going to ask them 3 times. We're actually going to ask them 4 times for their business because research indicates that people respond for different types of services on a different level.
Right.
And one of the ones that there's a great famous study that was done on professional services. And we think we kind of mimicked that a little bit, that it wasn't until the 4th exposure that the most people responded. So we don't want to be one of those companies, and 80% of all companies in America do 3 exposures or less. Right. We're going to make sure we do the 4th one.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, that's great. Well, I just want to say thank you both for being with us today. So thank you to Mike and Matt. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Very informative.
If I could just say, if people are interested in how they can contact us,
absolutely.
They can contact Mike at the Economic Development Authority at 570-296
7332.
Couldn't remember the number. Or you can contact the Commissioner's Office at 570-296-3476. And we'd be glad to talk to you. We'd be glad to sit down, have a cup of coffee with you, and tell you why you should come to Pike County.
Great. Well, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
And we'll be right back after this. Welcome back. Now's the time in our show for our email question of the week. And this mom writes to us, Dr. Sara, my 2nd grader came home with a note from school from his teacher stating multiple students in the class have strep throat. I'm trying hard not to panic, but when should I bring him in to see his doctor? So far, he isn't complaining of anything. First, there is no need to panic. I'm happy the school sent home a letter to make the parents aware of contagious illnesses that are occurring in the classroom. If your son starts to complain of a sore throat with or even without fever, bring him into the pediatrician's office so they can evaluate him, which may or may not include a rapid strep test depending on how his throat looks. In the meantime, remind him it's very important not to share drinks, food, or utensils as a way to try to prevent the illness. And as always, lots and lots of hand washing is key. I hope this helps answer your question. And again, no need to panic. If symptoms develop, bring him in. For those of you with further email questions, please feel free to email me at drsara@middletownchc.org. Again, that's drsara@middletownchc.org. And for those of you with further questions that you'd like to discuss in person, I'm currently located at the 140 Hammond Street Port Jervis Center for Primary Care, where walk-ins are always welcome. I hope you have an active and healthy week ahead, and I'll see you again next time. Take care.